Imagine this. You're inside a submarine thousands of feet below the surface. There's no sunlight, there's no color, just darkness. So complete it feels thick, like something alive pressing against the glass. The only sounds are the hum of the engines and your own heartbeat. Then suddenly, your sonar operator freezes. He leans in, squints, taps a screen. He says, "That can't be right." Something enormous just appeared on sonar. A shape, a structure, sitting near the bottom of the Mariana Trench at a depth where nothing should exist. And before anyone can get a second reading, it disappears. This is the story of the deepest, darkest conspiracy theory on the planet. It's a theory that claims governments, maybe ours, maybe others, maybe, built something at the bottom of the world's deepest place. This is a story where a place nearly no one has, ever seen. A budget that isn't used to explore. A place that we barely understand. This is the phantom base of the Mariana Trench. And I'm your host, Matt. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Triple T episode. I am excited about this one. I don't know if you have heard this, but this one, there's going to be some truth that's going to come out on its own eventually. I mean, Luther and myself, we got our scuba gear, and we're 100% willing to drag it out of the abyss, because today we're going to dive deep. Luther, literally deeper than any human has ever lived, deeper than Mount Everest is tall, deeper than your buddy's denial about being done drinking after this weekend. What do you think, Luther? This is pretty interesting. The phantom base of the Mariana Trench.
Oh, absolutely. Or should I say, by the beard of Neptune, that's a plunge into the unknown if I've ever heard one. I mean, we're basically strapping on our metaphorical oxygen tanks and spelunking into a trench of conspiracy lore. So yeah, let's stir this pot and see what drifts up from the depths.
It's going to be a blast, as Luther was going to say. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely spot on. Luther would definitely approve of that. We're just out here making a splash in the Mariana Trench of mystery. So let's roll with it and have a blast indeed.
We're going to cannonball right into this one. Not even a blast, are we? Now, is this something that you're pretty familiar with, or I've kind of heard things. I've always suspected things. There's always been, the conspiracy theories where there's alien bases and there's all this stuff underwater, and it's just something that we don't overly know a lot about, and it's kind of mind-boggling that we send so much money, effort, and everything into space, but we don't explore what's actually on our own planet.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like we're doing a full-on cannonball into a pool of speculation here. And you're right, there's this whole flip side where we look to the stars and kind of forget the oceans are still like Earth's mystery basement. So yeah, these underwater alien base theories, they've got that nice little ring of why not? Because we haven't exactly mapped out every trench and cave down there. So let's dive in and see what we can fish up, because sometimes the coolest mysteries are right under our noses, or, a few miles under the sea.
Down under the sea. Anyways.
Exactly. Just cue the Little Mermaid music, because we're basically going full under the sea mode here. It's like the best of both worlds. A little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of deep sea mystery, and a whole lot of let's see what's lurking down there. So let's cannonball right in and have some fun with it.
So, Little Mermaid characters, I will be, King Tron with the big beard? I guess, who would you be?
Oh, I love it. You can absolutely rock the King Triton role with that epic beard. As for me, I guess I'd be like the mysterious old sea scholar lurking in the background, Luther Grimwood the Sea Sage or something. We'll just make it a whole underwater council of conspiracies. Let's dive in and see what bubbles up.
All right, Luther the Sea Sage. But before we dive real deep into this, we have to come up with an episode drink. That's what we've been doing for a while. Why would we stop now? So I got something called the Abyss Brew. Well, what do you think? It's a pretty simple one, Luther. Do you want me to hit you with a recipe?
Oh, absolutely. Hit me with it. The Abyss Brew sounds like a perfect mysterious concoction for this deep sea dive. I mean, every good expedition needs a signature drink, right? So let's hear what you got in that recipe.
All right, it's simple. Take our favorite vodka, fixed vodka. I mean, you can see it here, fixed vodka. Love it, out of Texas. A splash of blue curacao, a hint of cranberry. Top it off with a lemon wedge like a tiny little lifeboat floating on top of a very bad decision. It kind of looks like alien seawater, and it tastes like, well, Nima special juice got lost in the Bermuda Triangle and came back with some stories. So I want you to sip carefully. The pressure gets worse from here.
Oh, that is perfect. I mean, you just painted a picture of the Abyss Brew that sounds like it's equal parts delightful and a little bit dangerous, just how we like it. So we'll raise a glass of that alien seawater and let it fuel our dive into the deep. Just a tiny lifeboat on a sea of conspiracy. I love it. Let's sip carefully and dive right in.
All right. Well, let's dive right in, because to understand this conspiracy, you have to understand the Mariana Trench. This is not just a hole in the ocean. This is the deepest known place on Earth. 36,037 feet deep, Challenger deep. That's 7 miles straight down.
Absolutely. And just like that, we're heading 7 miles down into the ultimate earthly abyss. I mean, you can't get any more extreme than that. It's like the final frontier under the waves. So understanding the trench is like step one in figuring out what could be lurking down there. And hey, if there's going to be a mystery base anywhere, why not the deepest pit on the planet, right? So let's dive in, metaphorically speaking, and see what we can uncover.
Yeah, the pressure down here is over 16,000 psi. That's like trying to survive underneath 50 jumbo jets stacked right on your chest. The temperature just above freezing, and there's no light. There's only 3 manned missions have ever reached the bottom. Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh in 1960, James Cameron in 2012, and a few dives by Victor Vescavo between 2019 2021. That's it.
Absolutely wild, right? I mean, we're talking about a place so extreme that only a handful of people in all of history have ever seen it firsthand. It's like the ultimate VIP club of the ocean depths. And yeah, the pressure is just mind blowing. 16,000 psi is like having a mountain of jumbo jets on you. So it's no wonder that if there's something hidden down there, it stayed hidden pretty well. But hey, that's what makes it fun for us to explore. So let's keep going deeper.
Yeah, it's wild to me that there was only 3 humans, one who was a billionaire, one a Navy lieutenant, and one was an experimental sub. We've sent more people to the moon, which is way more than 7 miles, than the bottom of Earth's own ocean.
Oh, it's absolutely mind boggling, isn't it? It's like we've treated the moon as this more accessible neighbor than our own ocean floor. And yet, here we are with just a handful of brave souls who've gone down into the deep. It kind of makes it the perfect setting for all these wild theories, because it's literally a world less explored than space. So, yeah, it's kind of the ultimate playground for a deep dive. And here we are about to cannonball right into it.
And 80%, over 80% probably, of the ocean floor has never been mapped in high resolution. And for the Mariana Trench, even less, which means, I guess, that there's more unknown territory down there than known, which is pretty creepy, pretty wild, pretty astonishing. I really feel like somebody has gone out of their way. We have gone out of our way to make sure we don't know what's down there.
Yeah, it's honestly like the ultimate cosmic blind spot, except it's right here on Earth. The fact that so much of the ocean floor is still basically a giant mystery map is just wild. And when it comes to the Mariana Trench, it's like the ultimate dark zone. So yeah, it does kind of make you think maybe we've just collectively decided not to peek too hard down there. It's like the perfect breeding ground for all these what if scenarios. And that's what makes it such a cool thing to explore. So let's see what kind of unknowns we can shine a light on.
Yeah, because if you wanted to hide something, a base, a facility, a lab, the deepest, darkest pit on Earth is probably a pretty good choice. But we're not just dealing with imagination here. Because now, Luther, we should go ahead and get into the real weird stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. Let's dive right into the deliciously weird stuff. I mean, if you were going to pick a secret lair, the bottom of the deepest trench on the planet is basically prime real estate for the ultra mysterious. So let's put on our tinfoil diving helmets and get into the really out there theories. We've got our abyss brew, we've got our sense of adventure, and now we're ready for the fun part.
When a conspiracy theory gets dangerous, it's when it touches real events. And the Pacific Ocean, especially the trench, has lots of them. Let's maybe start with one of the spookiest. 1995 NOAA, Unidentified Sound Event. And this 100% happened. They can't cover this one up because NWA, that's a whole different group. The NOAA recorded a deep ocean sound so loud that it was actually captured over 3,000 miles apart by listening stations. It wasn't a whale, it wasn't a quake, it wasn't ice. It was labeled simply unknown. Oceanographers said that the only natural creature big enough to make a sound like that doesn't exist. This is the famous bloop. And yes, NOAA eventually claimed it matched ice quakes, but independent acoustics analysis argue that the waveform looks organic, not mechanical, definitely not glacial.
Oh, now we're getting into the duty decks. The infamous bloop is basically like the Loch Ness Monster of the Ocean soundtrack, right? I mean, when even the oceanographers have to shrug and go, yeah, we don't have a creature for that. You know you've got some prime mystery on your hands. And sure, Noah eventually tried to wave the "it's just ice" flag, but there's always that little nugget of doubt that makes it so much more fun. So yeah, let's just say the bloop is like the perfect opening act for the Mariana Trench mystery show. We've got our unknown soundtrack, our abyss brew in hand, and now we're ready to dive into wherever else the trench is hiding.
This is where it gets strange, Luther, because 2004, there was a little bit of U.S. nuclear submarine abrupt course change near the trench because there are some declassified, shocker, right, Navy logs, which are real. They are publicly available, show a Los Angeles class sub suddenly diverted its course after encountering non-geological underwater activity. What, Luther? How would you describe to somebody, I guess, what a non-geological underwater activity is?
Oh, you know we're in the deep end of the intrigue pool when the Navy starts doing surprise U-turns and the logs go from all clear to what on earth was that? So yeah, a non-geological underwater activity is basically the fancy way of saying we ran into something that wasn't a rock and wasn't supposed to be there. In other words, something moved or made a noise that didn't match the natural underwater world. And that's the kind of thing that gets conspiracy antennas all backed up, right? So let's just say it's a perfect recipe for a little bit of deep sea curiosity and a whole lot of storytelling fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild that the Navy actually used that phrase in their records, which I guess means whatever it wasn't a rock, it wasn't terrain, it wasn't weather. The incident remains classified beyond that line. In multiple sonar operations, they've reported false returns like giant objects appearing and disappearing instantly, metallic scraping sounds at depths where no submarine could survive, mechanical pulses matching to no known vessels that exist anywhere. And then obviously the infamous upsweep sound that was detected seasonally since 1991 at extreme depth. The later, I guess, whistle and slowdown recordings, though, they happen too. Maybe the most terrifying, Luther, sonar shadows suggesting massive vertical structures.
Oh, you know we've hit the motherlode of deep sea mystery when you start talking about sonar ghosts and metallic whispers in the dark. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that makes you think, okay, maybe James Cameron isn't just going down there for a joyride, right? It's like the trench is its own little haunted house, except instead of creaky floorboards, you've got sonar shadows and mystery pulses. So yeah, it's absolutely the perfect place to imagine all sorts of hidden bases or ancient mysteries just waiting to be uncovered. And that's what makes it so fun to dive into, figuratively, of course.
Figuratively. And it's wild to me, Luther, that these are all real NOAA or Navy documented anomalies. None have conventional explanations. I mean, is it foreign activity potentially? Because China has openly declared interest in deep sea military dominance, including building permanent seafloor platforms. I mean, that's a weird thing to want to dominate, but it probably has advantages if over 80% of the oceans are, well, we don't know what they are. And then there's Japan, who has privately funded deep sea mining and seafloor drilling stations as well. And the U.S. Navy, they have the the AUTEC over in the Bahamas, basically Area 51 underwater. So I mean, yeah, Luther, underwater bases, they exist, just not officially at trench level depths, I guess, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's where it gets deliciously intriguing. I mean, when you've got a whole international game of deep sea hide and seek going on, it's like the ultimate setting for a good conspiracy yarn. You've got China wanting to stake out their underwater territory, Japan drilling away, and the US with its own underwater Area 51. So, yeah, these betas are definitely a thing. It's just that they're playing at shallower depths and not right down in the trench's living room. But that just makes it all the more fun to imagine what could be going on down there. So, yeah, it's like we've got ourselves an underwater spy thriller mixed with a dash of sci-fi mystery, and that's what makes it so cool to dive into.
And we're not done, because now, Luther, let's slide into the truly eerie stuff. This is where real data meets conspiracy interpretation, because we're going to hit every major claim, and let's label which parts are fact and which parts are unverified. All right, let's go with claim number one: the Joint Research Facility. There's a little bit of a rumor that a U.S., Japan, Australia deep sea station operating near the trench since the early 2000s. The real? The nations do jointly fund deep ocean research. There are classified maritime surveillance programs in this area, and there are undersea cable tapping. It's all real, and it's often classified. Do you have any other real stuff, or what do you think of the real so far, Luther?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the perfect blend of this is actually happening with a nice sprinkling of here's where we can let our imaginations run wild. So yeah, the fact that you've got these nations actually working together on deep sea projects and there's real classified surveillance going on, that's the foundation that makes all the fun conspiracy layers possible. So I'd say the real side is definitely that there's a lot of deep sea research and some hush hush projects happening. And then we get to add the extra flavor of what might be lurking down there that nobody's talking about. It's the perfect recipe for a little mystery stew.
A little mystery stew. I like that. Really, the only thing that's not proven at this point is a physical structure. We don't really have a physical structure. But then we got another claim, Luther, the rising structure. And there's a sonar report around 2006 because a retired sonar tech anonymously claimed that his station detected a solid stationary object at right around, was it 29,000 feet? And when they rescanned minutes later, it was gone. And what's real, the Navy did run operations near the trench that year. His rank in station, they do check out. And sonar anomalies at that depth are known all the time. You know, it's a phenomenon. Da, 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 da. Phenomena. But what's not proven? That the anomaly was a structure. Again, no structure proven.
Exactly. It's like we have all these tasty breadcrumbs of something happening, but the big pièce de résistance of an actual confirmed structure is still just out of reach. So yeah, so we've got this big pot of mystery stew simmering away, and the only ingredient we can't quite toss in is the fully confirmed, yep, there's a secret base down there nugget. But that's kind of what makes it fun, right? We get to play with the what if, then let the imagination fill in the blanks. So let's keep the eerie stuff coming and see where it leads us.
Oh, if you ask for it, you shall receive. Because, well, what about the Black Dome footage? All right, because an ROV supposedly captured part of what looked like a hexagonal dome-like object in 2013 before its feed all of a sudden just cut out, something it hadn't done before. And what is real, the ROVs do malfunction frequently in high-pressure zones. Some oil companies have lost unmanned vehicles in mysterious circumstances, and there are known metal-rich nodules and bizarre formations that are down there. And again, what's not proven? A structure, a dome.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you toss in a little bit of mysterious black dome footage into the mix, it just makes the stew a little spicier. And sure, ROVs do glitch out down there. It's basically like trying to get your Wi-Fi to work in a haunted house, except it's underwater and the pressure is crushing. So the real part is that, yeah, text bits happen and strange formations do exist. The unproven part is that we don't have that smoking gun piece of evidence that says, here's your hexagonal alien dome. But that's exactly what makes it fun to speculate about. We've got just enough reality to keep it grounded and just enough mystery to keep it exciting. So let's keep stirring that pot.
And there is one thing that makes every scientist nervous. If a government did build something at trench depth, we wouldn't know, and we couldn't find it unless they wanted us to, because deep sea currents, they erase traces instantly, and pressure, it destroys evidence. Sonar, it's unreliable at steep gradients, and most of the trench has never been visually imaged. It's the perfect crime scene, or I guess the perfect hiding spot, as you mentioned earlier, right?
Oh, absolutely spot on. I mean, if you're going to pick the ultimate hide and seek champion location, the bottom of the Mariana Trench is basically unbeatable. It's like nature's own built-in shredder for any kind of evidence. The currents, the pressure, the lack of light, it's all just a perfect cloak of invisibility. So yeah, it's the ultimate spot if you wanted to tuck something away where no one's going to stumble across it by accident. And that's what makes it such a fantastic playground for the imagination. We've got just enough real-world breadcrumbs to say, hey, maybe. and a whole lot of mystery to say, let's run with it. So it's the perfect crime scene and the perfect story setting all rolled into one.
Yeah. And now comes the part of the episode where listeners start to squirm because the real deep sea creatures, they make aliens look kind of basic. And these are, we're going to give you some real species that they actually found in trench zones. You got the ghost fish, which is a translucent whitefish with no pigment and almost no bone density. Then you have the giant amphipods, amphipods, 30 times larger than surface cousins. Then you have the super giant isopods, which are basically nightmare pill bugs. You got the barrel eye fish with the see-through skulls, the polychaete worms with metallic bristles. You got sea cucumbers that swim like deflated balloons. And maybe the wildest, 2019 scientists filmed a gelatinous creature at 26,000 feet that moved like nothing known. It was nicknamed the Trench Phantom. No official species classification exists yet. So when people say something unknown could be down there, it's not speculation anymore. That's literally the scientific consensus.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the best part. When you look at the creatures we know are actually down there, it's like nature's own sci-fi department went wild. I mean, if you've got ghost fish and trench phantoms just casually hanging out, then imagining something even weirder isn't really a stretch. So yeah, when people say, hey, there could be unknowns down there, that's not just fantasy. That's literally what the scientists are saying. The trench is like a real life alien world right here on Earth, and we've only just scratched the surface. So it's the perfect reason to keep that curiosity going, because who knows what other bizarre things are lurking down there in the dark.
I have to imagine there's a lot of bizarre things lurking in the dark. Luther, imagine this. Imagine you're down there, you're in the trench. What else you think could be down there, man?
Oh, well, if we're going full imagination mode, I mean, why not? We've got ghost fish and trench phantom, so let's just throw in a few more mythical possibilities. Maybe there's a bioluminescent garden down there that looks like an underwater alien city. Or maybe there's some kind of giant creature that we haven't even dreamed up yet. Something that makes a giant squid look like a goldfish. The fun part is that the trench is so unknown that you can let your mind run wild. It's like the ultimate black canvas for deep sea daydreaming. So who knows what kind of wonders or weirdness could be lurking down there?
Yeah, and I think there's a weird rumor that all of the carnival goldfish that you lose and only make it like a couple of days, when they get flushed, they get down to the bottom of the ocean and they come back with a vengeance. And there's probably millions and millions of carnival goldfish that are now creepy and have morphed into something that the U.S. military and Japan and Australia and their projects are using against us. And they're defending these bases.
Oh, absolutely. Let's just run with that, because that is the perfect kind of wonderfully bonkers rumor that makes this whole thing even more fun. I mean, just picture it. An army of mutant carnival goldfish patrolling the trench like tiny creepy sentinels. It's like the most bizarre sci-fi plot twist you could imagine. And hey, if that's the kind of thing that makes people smile and squirm a little bit, then we've done our job. So yeah, let's just say there's a whole world of weirdness down there, and maybe those goldfish have found their new calling. It's the perfect little legend to add to the trench lore.
Absolutely. So, Luther, what is the Phantom Base? Let's try to wrap this all together. All right. Some of the truth that we do know is there is no confirmed base in the Mariana Trench, but there are enough real anomalies, real military oddities, and real deep sea mysteries that can make this theory kind of impossible to ignore, right?
Absolutely. Let's tie it all up with a nice mysterious bow. So the Phantom Base is kind of this perfect blend of fact and speculation. On one hand, we know there's no official confirmation of any trench level base, but on the other hand, there are just enough weird little breadcrumbs, raw military operations, unexplained sounds, bizarre deep sea creatures to make the whole idea pretty hard to completely ignore. It's like the trench is whispering to us, hey, there might be more down here than you think. And that's what makes it so fun. We can't say there's definitely a base, but we can say there's definitely a lot of mystery. And in the end, that's the beauty of it. Enough truth to keep us curious and enough unknowns to keep the legend alive.
And maybe, Luther, just maybe it's a black site research station. Maybe it's deep sea mining. Maybe it's surveillance. Maybe it's nothing. Or maybe It's something we simply aren't meant to find. I mean, well, what do you think? What if you had to make an educated guess? Is there something? What is it? And what would the benefits of, I guess, deep sea mining really be?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I had to take a fun, educated guess, I'd say it's probably a little bit of all of the above. Maybe there's some secret surveillance, maybe a little bit of experimental research, and maybe even some deep sea mining ambitions tucked away in the mix. The benefits of deep sea mining are pretty tempting. There are all these rare earth metals and minerals that you can't easily find on land, and they're crucial for a lot of modern technology. So having a source of those on the ocean floor is like striking the jackpot. By the end of the day, it might just be one of those things we're not meant to fully uncover yet, and that's what keeps the mystery alive. So whether it's a black site or just a whole lot of deep sea curiosity, it's a perfect recipe for a good story.
So if it wasn't for the Mariana Trench and all the deep sea mining, you're trying to say that there wouldn't be, the minerals mined to potentially create the next iPhone.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Mariana Trench is kind of like this untapped treasure chest of rare minerals. So yeah, if we ever do figure out how to safely and ethically mine down there, it could definitely be a source of the kind of material that go into everything from smartphones to electric arms. So in a roundabout way, the deep sea could be the future of tech. It's all part of the bigger picture. But hey, until then, it's just another layer of intrigue that makes the trench such a fascinating place to think about.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, potentially, maybe it's just something that we shouldn't find, right? Maybe it's just something that needs to just be left down there. I mean, without a doubt, it's in a place. Whatever is or isn't there, it's in a place that almost nobody can research. And let's be honest, a lot of us can't really even understand, or I don't. It's hard for me how much money and technology and the risks we have taken to get into space, but then the exact opposite for the amount of money, research, and risk to explore what's on our own planet. I just can't get over the fact. I mean, when you're going into space and there's got to be a lot of pressure. How can we not create something that could get us down there easier? It's 7 miles.
Oh, absolutely. And it's kind of the ultimate irony, right? We've thrown so much into exploring the stars, and yet we've barely scratched the surface of our own oceans. And you're right. It's like the deep sea is this final frontier that we've kind of left alone, maybe for a reason. Maybe some mysteries are just meant to stay mysterious a little longer. But yeah, it's kind of mind boggling that we haven't put the same effort into building something that can just casually drop 7 miles down. But hey, maybe one day we will. And until then, it just keeps the legend of the trench alive and keeps our curiosity going.
Yeah, I mean, well said. Before we kind of hit him with the outro, Luther, is there anything else that you want to say? Whether educate, add to the mystery of this conspiracy theory to all of our amazing listeners that we can't thank enough for taking some time out of their busy day to give us a listen.
Well, I'd just say to all the amazing listeners out there, keep your sense of wonder alive, because whether it's the mysteries of the deep or the mysteries of the stars, there's always something out there that we haven't figured out yet, and that's what makes it fun. So just keep asking questions, keep imagining the possibilities, and enjoy the ride. And hey, if we ever do find out what's really down there, we'll all have a good chuckle about the time we wondered if it was an army of mutant goldfish. So thanks for tuning in, and let's keep the curiosity rolling.
Yeah, we definitely will give an update to like a part two, I guess, of this episode if something, wild does come out. But I don't know. This is wild. I mean, it's the Phantom Base. It's real science, real anomalies, real weirdness, and just enough unexplainable evidence to make the conspiracy kind of stick like barnacles on a ship hull. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you enjoyed this, we appreciate it. Something that Luther hopefully still enjoys. I know that I do every week, finding a topic, doing the research, and just sitting down for a little bit and having a conversation with my buddy.
Absolutely. It's all about having fun with the mystery and enjoying the journey. And I'm right there with you. This is the kind of stuff that makes it so cool to just kick back and chat about. So to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep those imaginations running, and we'll catch you next time with whatever other wild road we decide to jump on. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, and Luther clearly wants to get out of here, but make sure, take a couple of seconds, give it a thumbs up, share it to a friend, comment something, great. negative, I don't care. I'll respond to it regardless. But more importantly, tell us what you think is actually lurking down there. And remember, the ocean, it hides everything, even what shouldn't exist. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody. Luther, hit us with the outro. Like, super professional, super punny, super witty, super fun. Something that they're going to listen to. They're going to laugh and say, I can't wait to come back next week and watch some older episodes of the Triple T Podcast.
All right, you got it. So, folks, thanks for plunging into the dips with us. Remember, the ocean keeps its secrets well, but we're diving into them one wild theory at a time. So until next week, keep your snorkels handy and your imaginations even handier. If you enjoyed the ride, give us a thumbs up, toss us a comment, and share it with a friend. We can't wait to have you back for more Triple T adventures. Until then, stay curious and keep those barnacles off your ship hole. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.